Yo, 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 welcome back to the Hulaham Hour. I'm Kurtis alongside Nick per usual. Man, what a freaking mind-blowing last 72 hours in the NFL, man. How excited are you for this week's episode?
I can't believe all the changes in the fucking NFL right now, man. Absolutely nuts.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gents, let's kick it. Welcome back, everybody. We're here. It's March 12th, 2025, episode number 15. Nick, how's it going this week, bro?
It's going great, man. I've just been excited about the NFL news and the opening of the league here today.
It's been very fun. Yes, as Nick said, it is the opening of the 2025-26 NFL season. Has been commenced upon us. We are here to update you on all of your fantasy football needs, all of your NFL needs, and the rest of the sporting world needs. So, I don't even know where to begin. First things first, I mentioned last week we were getting ready to have some in-house guests, scheduling conflicts. Next week, proud to announce we will be having a guest in-house, Mr. Jeffrey Westcott. Very looking forward to that. Looking forward to having you on. Going to have some really good sports talk. Going to have some really good talk about anything else the guests might want to talk about, just like we did a segment on comedy, the comedy scene in Tampa with Sean. We're going to do the same thing with Jeff on whatever he might want to talk about. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the support we've still been getting. We're here for you, Free Agency Tracker. Nick, do you have any place in particular that you would like to start?
All right. Well, let's jump into the quarterbacks, the most important.
Yeah, let's do it.
Geno Smith going to the Raiders. Sam Darnold to Seattle. What are your thoughts on them moves?
So, my first gut instinct with Seattle, or with the Raiders, was Pete Carroll. Great, glad you came out of retirement. Absolute gangster of a coach. From coaching USC back in the day, coaching Seattle back in the day, having Legion of Boom, having, a freaking beast mode, all that, winning a Super Bowl, so on and so forth. However, my first instinct, as well as so many other people's, I feel like, was Russell Wilson going to Las Vegas. It just made sense because if you want to get the last couple of drops of good football from that man, I feel like Pete Carroll's the guy that could bring it out of him. And that didn't happen. He went to who kind of backed up Russell Wilson and took over at the end of Pete Carroll's regime. He played under Pete Carroll, correct, after Russell left still?
Yeah. Well, I think he came from the Jets.
Yeah, he came from the Jets, but he backed up Russ, I think, the last year that both Russ and Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll and Russ left the same season, correct? I believe so. So
I'm not 100% on that one.
I believe they did.
Carroll was around for another year or so.
Well, he might have been. However, again, we're not here for the absolute 100% facts. We're here for the talk. So anyways, Geno Smith, though, it's a smarter move on the level that Geno Smith is younger, got a little bit more talent if you're comparing current season to current season. And if you're looking for that longevity, you have that with Geno Smith, where you do not have that with Russell Wilson. So that was my only concern with that part of the trade. Now, moving on and flipping the script on the Sam Darnold move, good luck. He has nobody to throw to currently. I mean, Smith and Jigma is a great he's a great wide receiver, but he's really, I can't say he's number one material. I don't have enough to go off of. There's just so many more questions in Seattle. Like, their run game is good, their defense is so-so. There's going to be a lot to be had out that way. So Lay it on me. What are your overall thoughts, brother? I'm curious of how your thoughts compare to my thoughts. Always.
I'm thinking you say longevity. Geno's 35. There isn't much longevity left in that old man. You traded one geriatric for another. I think realistically they're going to use him as a bridge quarterback and still try to draft somebody this year.
Guess I say longevity as in longer. What's Russ?
Between him and Russ, there ain't a lot of years left.
There really isn't. So yeah, but anyways,
one's 38, one's 35.
yeah, I knew there wasn't that big of a difference, but I guess I didn't think it was that close. Yeah,
I think it makes sense for the Raiders. So if they use him as a bridge quarterback and takes like Shadur, if he's available this year, let him sit for a year or two. Geno is accurate. He's a smart play caller.
That would be smart. And behind the scenes, like, I know that Tom Brady's just a minority owner, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he has more of a voice when it comes to things like this than most owners do at the level that he's at. It just doesn't seem like he was very much involved in this one. But if he was on the level that you just stated, how let's get Geno. He can be a veteran leader and show this man the ropes of the league, and we get Shador and we do it that way. That could be a very smart move. That would be the kind of the level of intellectual that I would like to see them have, but it's the Raiders. So you can involve Tom Brady, you can involve Pete Carroll. I'm excited to see the Raiders play well for Vegas because there's just so much growth that goes on out that way. Good for them. So, yeah. All right. Well, so what about Sam Darnold, dude? Hey, lay it down me on Sam Darnold.
So I do think Smith and Jigba is like a 1.5 receiver, not quite a 1. But the problem is he's a slot receiver. He's got no one to throw to on the outside. And here we just came for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, and he made
they better do something in free agency.
He made his deal after DK left, if I understand my timeline correctly.
Yeah, it went DK, Geno, and then Sam.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely nuts, dude. Absolutely crazy. I wish Sam Darnold the best. I always joke that I saw his first ever pass in the NFL live right in front of me at Ford Field. His rookie opener was against the Lions. It was a pick six. It was the most exciting opening play I've ever seen in my life. And then the Jets proceeded to kick the ever-loving fuck out of us. After that, it was the worst game I've ever seen at Ford Field. But Sam Darnold's first throw ever in the NFL was a pick six at Ford Field. I'll never forget that. But I wish him the best because a little bit more now than I did when he was in Minnesota because he's not in our division. So if we're going to play you, Mr. Darnold, ever again, it's going to be in the playoffs. And I wish it, when the schedule gets back around to it, I suppose too. But it's going to be a long time coming. So good luck, Mr. Darnold. Yeah, dude, those were two really crazy, mind-blowing trades, that I don't think either person, or not trades, I guess, on the Darnold front, but yeah, those were two just curveballs that I don't think anybody on ESPN, NFL Network, anybody saw coming, and myself included, and this little teeny channel called the Hulaham Hour. Yeah, those were two major curveballs. So I'm gonna delve in, and then I'll throw it back to you if I don't get to some of the ones that you want to go over here. But yeah, Josh Allen signed a hellaciously crazy extension. It's a new 6-year deal worth $330 million with $250 million guaranteed. He's not the only quarterback getting paid. I also saw that for the 4th time now, Mr. Mahomes has restructured his contract because he probably knows now that they don't have the money to freaking pay anybody else now. They need to draft a freaking left guard or a left tackle for him, and they don't, and they get the guy from the 49ers that's a backup. That's his blind side, and that's what you think of your quarterback. That's some low shady shit, Kansas City. Yeah, so Buffalo also signed a whole lot of other players. One of the bigger headlines that they did was they signed Joey Bosa to a 1-year, $12.6 million deal, with 12 of that being guaranteed, with a max value of $15.6 with bonuses. What are your thoughts on Mr. Bosa, Mr. Julia?
if he can stay on the field, he's only played like 11 games out of his last 28. Then that's an amazing steal for them.
Yeah, I was a little bit excited when I saw the headline about the Bosa brothers maybe pairing up out in San Francisco. That would have been kind of cool to see. I don't know if it would have really worked, but it would have been cool to see. I also saw DeMar Hamlin re-signed a 1-year deal with the Bills as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going straight off of NFL.com's NFL Free Agency Tracker, which is very current and up-to-date. A couple other big signings for the Bills, but we're going to move on. Miami Dolphins signed Zach Wilson for their backup. I think that's a good, solid backup. I think that's where he belongs. But you know what? It's the best backup that Miami's.
Yeah, no.
It's the best backup Miami's seen in a long time. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know how you call that the best they've seen. No, they had Tyrod Taylor at one point. Fitzmagic was better than that as a backup.
That's what I mean by it's been a few years since Fitzmagic was there. So, yeah. Other than that, they haven't done a whole lot. They did a couple wide receivers, some line work. They haven't made very many splashes. Patriots have been busy. They brought in Joshua Dobbs for quarterback on an $8 million deal. Signed Mac Hollins, signed Austin Hooper. And they also stole Carlton Davis from us here at the Lions. However, in doing a little research on Carlton Davis myself, he was a great player, and I'm not taking anything from him, and I wish him the best. However, he was a lot spottier than I think people let on to be. He was very streaky, and I think we want more consistency. Would you agree with that, Nick?
Well, I think he was good. I just don't think he was $60 million good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and spend the money, New England. I just think that's a good move by Detroit not to pay that amount of money.
No, I wouldn't have wanted to pay that kind of money for him, and I'm good for him getting his bag. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for him. So, yeah, I'm going to just jump ahead and get the Lions out of the way, and then I'm going to go back to our list here because I'm just too excited to talk about some of the – there's one signing that I am the absolute most excited about, and I think you know which signing that is, Nick, right?
DJ Reed.
Ding, 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 ding.
Or
yeah,
Skipper
dude.
coming back.
Nope. I'm pumped about DJ Reed. I think that now we actually have a 100% legitimate shutdown corner. Like, top to bottom, ready to shut down any number one. Very excited about that. Very excited Derek Barnes is coming back. Glad we kept him. Marcus Davenport, we got him coming back too. He's always been solid for us. But I'm very, very, very excited about DJ Reed. Could not be happier that we landed him. When we lost Carlton Davis, it softened the blow that we lost him to the fact that we got DJ Reed. What are your feelings on Mr. Reed?
I think he's a great corner. I think he is a lot younger than what Davis was, and I think he's a better corner. And I look forward to having him on our team. I was really hoping we'd go after Slay as well because we really haven't made that many splashes in free agency, to be honest with you.
Nope.
But at least we got on their corner.
Yes. Slay would have been all right, but I think
we've done nothing to help Hutchinson.
Yeah. I think there's still the opportunity for Hendricks, which I would love to see that happen. That would make us just ungodly good. I don't know. Shit. I lost my train of thought there for a second. But we still, we got DJ Reed. I don't think Arnold is unless he just learns how to not be so handsy, it's going to be very tough. I don't know. I would love to see, like you said, we need to get Hutch some help. We haven't done that yet. And we need to do it. Need to do it big time. DJ Reed, though, I'm very happy about that signing. Very happy about it. I'm sure we got some more moves to make, but we shall see. We shall see. Shit, I had a really good point I was going to bring up.
So I want to...
Totally lost it.
I want to turn over the next free agency one to you, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You're going over all the
team?
Nick's dropping the bombshells right off the get instead of saving some of them for later. Let's just drop all the big ones right off the frickin' get-go. Thank you, Nick. This is why. Yeah, dude, the Pittsburgh Steelers, sore spot in my heart currently, for a plethora of reasons. My biggest qualm is Mr. Rodgers is just sitting in a hotel room right now in Pittsburgh contemplating his entire life. And the reason I feel that he's contemplating his entire life is this. He tends to want to run things. Mike Tomlin does not let that fly. Mike Tomlin is a gangster through and through. Aaron Rodgers thinks he is, but he is not. I just don't think that's the answer, even as a bridge quarterback. I told you earlier, Nick, that I'm calling it that if Aaron Rodgers does become the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it will be Mike Tomlin's first losing season as Pittsburgh's head coach. Not very thrilled about it. I'd rather see them have Russ come back. At this point, I'd almost rather see him have Kirk Cousins. I don't know, man. What are your views with what Pittsburgh has cracking currently?
Well, they loaded up at wide receiver. Then they let their top running back go. And now they're struggling to find an old man quarterback. I don't really understand where they're logical, unless they're looking to trade for somebody, which is very possible. Maybe they trade up in the draft to go young. They have the people and picks to do it. I'm just hoping there's something behind this philosophy they're showing here other than waiting on two old men to get out of bed.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them to trade up and get either of these quarterbacks. Honestly, if they were going to do anything, I'd like to see him bring back Russ and draft like Milton late. Because who knows, dude? He could shape up to be something great. He kind of reminds me of Jalen Hurts a little bit. And Jalen Hurts was taken late in the draft too. So he just won Super Bowl MVP last year. It's not all about the top recruits sometimes, man. Those late round picks.
Nope, I think Jackson Dart's the sleeper.
Yeah, but they're ranking him like number 3, and I don't really call that a sleeper.
Well, he was projected in the mid-second round. That drops him into the late first round for the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crapshoot so far, man. All right, moving on here. Now that I got some of my Lions talk out. God love the Lions. I'm so excited for our year already. Mr. Gnome, bring us good luck. Okay, another blockbuster quarterback move. I say blockbuster. It was a pretty decent deal, especially for who it is. The New York Jets signed Justin Fields to a 2-year, $40 million, $30 million fully guaranteed, including a $15 million signing bonus and a $5 million base salary in 2025. Even though he's an Ohio State alum, I've always been a fan of Justin Fields for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was because last year I thought that he should have kept the job in Pittsburgh, and maybe it grew my fandom for him. Again, like I said, I'm trying not to hold a grudge against Aaron Glenn or nothing like that, but it would be nice to see Fields actually do decent. But I don't know that he will. What are your thoughts on Fields being out there the East Coast with New York?
See, I've never been real high on Justin Fields, mainly because of his throwing ability. He can chuck the ball, but his decision-making is absolutely terrible. He's fast, he creates plays, and he's electric. But he can't throw the ball accurately all game long.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's going to be pissed by week 3.
However, Garrett Wilson got thrown to him in college, remember?
Yeah, I do remember. And I still think he's going to be really mad.
It could, that spark could come back. Things could muster. We'll just have to see, I guess. Mr. Glenn, Mr. Fields, I wish you the luck in New York there. But we all know deep down in our hearts that New York is always, always going to suck. Baltimore Ravens have done absolute dog shit except sign DeAndre Hopkins. What are your thoughts on that?
They got an old guy that can catch touchdowns. That's what all they needed him for. They have good receivers. They have a great run game. The guy that catches 10 balls a game. They need somebody that's a good possession receiver.
I don't even think on that level. I almost think at this point it's more of like a coaching standpoint or more of like a mentorship standpoint for the young blood receivers that they have in Baltimore there. I think really he'll be able to shed a lot of light in that regard as well. I think they're probably going to get more out of him that way than they will as an actual receiver. But time will tell. It'll be another really great weapon for Lamar, a very great weapon for Lamar, especially if he figures out how to utilize him better than Patrick Mahomes did. I don't think Patrick Mahomes took the time he should have with DeAndre while he was in Kansas City. Because if they did, he probably would have had a lot better shot at the Super Bowl. I know Hopkins isn't a spring chicken anymore, but he's still a freaking freak athlete, man. And just finding the right crew of guys to get together to make it happen for him. So I wish him the best. But other than that, they signed blockbuster for fullback signing, Patrick Richard. Oh, shit. Okay. So, the Bengals.
Both fullbacks got let go this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
Check got let go as well.
No shit. Well, God love it. Godspeed to him. All right. Bengals slapping the non-exclusive franchise tag on Mr. Higgins. I think it's the smart move for the Bengals, but if you're Mr. Higgins, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking this is the last year you can do that, and I'm out of here.
Deuces.
Somebody's going to pay that man a lot of money after this year.
They will. And
them.
He deserves it, dude. He deserves it wholeheartedly. He deserves it so much. I hope he gets his. I really do. I really, truly do.
They still got to pay Jamar Chase.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to have to do that next year. They just are. They're going to have to. They're going to have to bite the bullet and do it. They're going to have to pay one of them. And at this point, obviously, Chase is the superior player. But at what point would you rather have a number one and that you like a known number one in T. Higgins and pay less, or keep Jamar Chase and pay out the ass for him? That's a choice they're going to have to make. And the Bengals are pretty well known as an organization to dig their heels in and not do any of that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
If you're going to let Jamar Chase walk, you better sign Burrow to extension before you let him walk.
Yeah. 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 Okay. They also signed Mike Gesicki on a 3-year deal worth $25.5 million with $12 million in year one. They also, though, are letting the leading sack leader in the NFL last year, Mr. Hendrickson, walk, or they're at least okay. So I guess here are my thoughts with that entire situation. I'm almost convinced that they're letting him shop around, not because they don't want to re-sign him, but because they want to see what they can get. They should pay him, because I don't think they know what they can pay him. So if if he goes and visits 3 or 4 teams and they offer him different things and they can kind of take a meeting, I don't know. What are your thoughts on them just kind of letting him shop around? Ridiculous.
I don't think they can afford the number that he has in his head, to be honest. So they're trying to see where you'd want to go to at least try to make both sides a little happier here.
Yeah.
Because with Crosby and Garrett's deals getting done, that just put his at up around $100 million.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
So you're going to pay Higgins, Chase, and him over $100 million?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I don't think that 9% salary cap increase covers that one.
No, it does not. Yeah, so the Bengals did a whole bunch of other bullshit I'm not going to go over. The Browns. The Browns have been the Browns. Another big headline. Myles Garrett in early February, I believe it was, February 4th-ish. Writes a letter, posted online. Dear Cleveland, thank you for the opportunities. However, also, go fuck yourself. And I know I have a no-trade clause. But trade me anyways. Just kind of, the whole situation was like, he makes that letter. No one really says shit. No one makes offers. No one does anything. Then he wants to talk to the owner. The owner says, no, I'm not going to take a meeting with you. And the next day, he signs a 4-year extension for $123 million. The situation in Cleveland is terrible, but what are your overall thoughts with Garrett?
I think Garrett's looking at something like the T. Higgins situation, and he's going, man, I got 1 more year. They could tag me for 2, or I could just make them pay me a boatload of money. I'm stuck here regardless for 3 years. Might as well get paid for 4 in a boatload.
Woo! Knock down my gnome. Gnome down. Yeah, that's exactly kind of where I was at. Like, he's just, if someone offered me that much money, I think I could lose for 4 years. I do. I really do. Yeah.
He's already lost for like 7, so I think he's pretty used to it.
Yeah. So, they also acquired in a trade with the Eagles, which we'll get to the Eagles here in a little bit, but the Eagles seem to be just like giving away the farm. Kenny Pickett is now a Cleveland Brown.
Leave him out.
And they traded that quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 2025 fifth-round pick. Kenny Pickett's a great backup to have. He now is a Super Bowl champion, but that's kind of irrelevant. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out, because if Deshaun Watson doesn't end up playing, it's going to end up being the Kenny Pickett show, unless they draft Cam Ward or somebody of that nature.
Or sign Russell Wilson.
Yeah. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. They also, you said earlier they signed Kenneth Gainwell. They've signed DK Metcalf to a 4-year, $132 million deal. It's a pretty good deal, DK. They haven't done much else. Like you said, they also signed Darius Slay. They got Brandon Echols, and they got Malik Harrison to a 2-year, $10 million deal. And Donald Parham Jr. Go Pitt, go. Holy cow, Houston's done a lot. One of the biggest things that stuck out to me that they've done was they acquired a trade with Jacksonville. Christian Kirk. What are your thoughts on Mr. Kirk going to Houston?
I think he'll do a lot better there than Jacksonville. He can finally go into a slot position. I think when they put him outside in Jacksonville, that pretty much took away his game. He is a slot receiver.
Yeah, that was always my qualm with how Jacksonville was using him. They were using him the wrong way. Using him the complete wrong way. They also signed a couple other...
He's a crossing route guy.
Yeah. They've signed a decent amount of players, but really the biggest ones that come out, they signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson in a trade with the Eagles. They also... Yeah. That was pretty much... Those were the big ones for Houston. Big ones for Houston. The Indianapolis Colts signed quarterback Daniel Jones to a 1-year, $14 million deal, with $13.15 of that being fully guaranteed. I have never been a Daniel Jones fan. I really haven't. It's not that I'm a hater of him. Just from a player standpoint, I just don't think he's a starting quarterback for the NFL. However, they just keep proving me wrong every time that I turn around. But now I think because they've openly done this deal, this is not backup quarterback money. This is clearly a wake-up call to Anthony Richardson. Not so much a wake-up call, but it's actually going to see if this is their guy, which I think a lot of people would say it's not. What are your thoughts on the Colts bringing in Daniel Jones to create this quarterback competition?
I think as early as week 3, Daniel Jones ends up being the starting quarterback of that team.
Yeah.
And I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad of a quarterback. And I think given the right situation, obviously he didn't flourish in the Giants offense. Given a different scenario, different coaches, different scheme, I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback, though. He's a decent game manager.
Yeah, he is. I just look back at the streak where he didn't throw a passing touchdown over the course of 2 different seasons. I think that's kind of absolutely ridiculous. But we'll see. I think
name one of his receivers.
Malik Neighbors last year. Sorry. Couldn't throw a touchdown pass to Malik Neighbors. That's fucked up. So, with that being said, we'll see if their idea of creating this quarterback competition actually works, because I really feel like they have this isn't they have an equal opportunity, I think, to win with either one of these quarterbacks. Would you say the same thing?
Oh, absolutely. And I would even say Richardson's got a little bit of the nod from the coaching staff.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He truly does. But Daniel Jones is probably good at fitting in anywhere he goes at this point in his career. But we'll see. Okay. They also signed Khalil Herbert to a 1-year deal, and a couple other people. Jacksonville Jaguars have done nothing memorable. They've signed quarterback Nick Mullins. Yeah, see, this is how you know you've not signed someone for backup money. A 1-year, $14 million deal for Daniel Jones, and Nick Mullins signed to be the backup for Trevor Lawrence at a 2-year, $6.5 million deal. There's your difference, ladies and gentlemen. Jacksonville hasn't done very hot in the free agency market so far. However, I will say I did see an interview today with Mr. Cohen, their new head coach. They were giving him shit about the Duval thing that he did. And I will say that if you take your only impression from that man, from that interview, that's not who he is. I forget what podcast he was on, but in this interview, they gave him a redemption shot. They're like, dude, you can do it again. They're like, just say Duval. And he's like, Duval, I'm not doing it. And it was just really, I think that he showed everybody the goofy side of himself first, when he should have showed everybody the serious, good part of him, and then let the goofy part out. But they also compared to what Dan Campbell did when he came out. He's like, we're gonna bite off your fucking kneecaps, we're gonna shit in your breakfast, and all that. And he was the sound bit of the century for a while, and everybody thought he was a meathead and wouldn't do shit. And look what that man has done for Detroit football. Dan Campbell, we love you so much. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens in Jacksonville. He either needs to put up or shut up, because he's got a lot of confidence. So we'll see. Tennessee Titans haven't done a lot to break the bank yet. Not much. They got Van Jefferson on a 1-year deal worth a max value of $2.5 million. Ooh, the salary cap went up, Tennessee. Get the memo. Yeah, Denver. Moving on to the AFC West. Signed backup quarterback Jason Stidham to a 2-year, $12 million deal. They also came to a 2-year, $23 million deal with tight end Evan Ingram. I did not read that. Good for them. That's actually going to be he's going to be the tight end I think Bo Nix needs. What are your thoughts on Evan Ingram going to Denver?
If he can stay healthy, he's a great tight end. But honestly, to me, that's not the biggest thing that Denver had. Their top 5 defense just got Dre Greenlaw, who's an absolute animal.
Yeah, he is. He's an animal. He's an animal for sure. That's cool, though. I've always liked Evan Ingram. He's been a good fantasy player for me over the years. So good luck, young man. Good luck. Not a whole lot else that Denver's done. Kansas City signed running back Elijah Mitchell to a free agent deal. Doesn't even say how long. They re-signed Marquise Brown, excuse me. They got back Nick Bolton. They also this is the only team I think so far that I've seen do this, Nick. Exclusive rights free agent, a tender for $960,000 for punter Matt Arazia. They signed a punter in free agency. Go Chiefs! Yeah, man. I don't know.
Well, their other guy probably got bored or.
Yeah. Fuck the devil worshippers. Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders. We talked earlier about Geno Smith. Last week, it was breaking news that Max Crosby became the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, and that lasted an entire 24 hours, Nick, because Thursday is when Myles Garrett, I believe, signed his contract, which then made Max Crosby the second highest non-quarterback paid player. I thought that was kind of funny. That seems to happen a lot, though, especially today, like when contracts are just being absolutely blown out of entire proportion of shit. It just seems like that happens. Like I'm the highest paid player. So yeah, Raiders are making moves. I think Pete Carroll going there is going to be a very good move for them. Very excited to see what they can't make happen. Can't make happen out there. So. Los Angeles Chargers took my boy Najee Harris. He agreed to a 1-year deal, $5.25 million. Najee definitely underperformed to his draft stock value of what he came into the league to be at Pittsburgh for. He's very disappointed in his overall performance, so we'll have to see how that plays out for Los Angeles. However, I know J.K. Dobbins is a free agent still. I'm not sure if he's signed anywhere yet or not. I thought I saw that he did. He signed somewhere else. But anyways, we'll see how that works out. They also re-signed to a 1-year, $18 million fully guaranteed deal, Mr. Khalil Mack, which that's, he's a unit, dude. He's a unit. He always will be. Do you think the Chargers are stuck in the same paradox that they were with Phillip Rivers, that they are with Justin Herbert?
No, I really don't. And I think Najee Harris is a good pickup, but unless they get another receiver for Herbert to throw to, then I think that offense is still going to sputter pretty bad this year.
Yeah, they do need another receiver big time. Yeah, I don't know, man. The more that Justin Herbert plays quarterback for the Chargers, the more he reminds me of Phillip Rivers. I don't know, man. It's a little scary, especially if you're a Chargers fan. But we will see. Oh, they also signed a punter.
Re-signed.
All right. You on the same tracker, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Going to the NFC East. I want you to start us off with the Dallas Cowboys. I want you to take the NFC East. I want to hear what you have to say about the NFC least, in my opinion.
Well, we all have a deep hatred of the Cowboys, but they're making it really easy to watch when they don't get anybody and all their good players leave because we know they're going to suck next year. Can you still tell me who the highest paid quarterback is? Is going to be Prescott at $60 million a year, who has not restructured his contract. They have cap space, and just watch DeMarcus Lawrence go to Seattle. I don't think they've gotten better. I think they've actually gotten worse.
Yeah, I would agree. They're a dumpster fire. So it looks like they have made some moves, and I don't even care if I don't know a single person on here. Lay it down for me. Lay down a couple of the moves they've made for me, please.
They picked up Javonte Williams out of Denver, which is a good pickup. He's a steady running back.
Yep.
But they went from Dowdell to him. Not a huge improvement, I don't think, personally. They picked up Peyton Turner, Osei Odigizua, Solomon Thomas. They did shore up their defensive line to give Micah some help. Their defense was pretty rough last year.
Very rough.
They're still going to score 13 points a game this year.
Yeah, I've never.
No, they got a couple defensive backs. They made a couple okay moves.
They did. They also re-signed a punter to a 2-year deal. I love that there's some of these deals that have no money value on them on this website. Like, that just seems like insane. Like, you're telling me that that's just not public knowledge how much money these men are making. Bullshit. Yeah.
No, it's only been open since 4:00. They haven't come to terms yet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, fuck you for being logical, Nick. Yeah, dude.
All right, let's move on to the New York Giants. Bringing DeVito. Also doesn't have a number. They brought Darius Slayton back for $36 million. What are your thoughts on him getting re-signed for that? I didn't think he was that great of a receiver.
Dude, Darius Slayton, I thought was another prospect, highly overrated coming out of the draft. Comes in, and he's just been a number 2 since. And for him to get a deal even worth that, I don't know. It's kind of tough. But that is cookie cutter New York Giant contract structure. Tell me I'm wrong.
It is. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to spend that much money on a number 2.
No. Yeah.
So they signed a couple offensive linemen. I mean, their line couldn't get any worse than it was last year. Maybe their new quarterback, whether it's Rodgers or Wilson or Cam Ward, won't die. And honestly, their best move is probably safety Javon Holland from Miami.
Yeah.
He is a hell of a safety. That just upgraded their defense tremendously. And I'm going to let you jump in with me on the Philadelphia Eagles here. Besides them cleaning house, what are your thoughts on why they're getting rid of their whole Super Bowl team?
You have a number 1 defense, which they had. Clearly, they had the best defense in the NFL last year. From top to bottom, couldn't beat them. Nobody could. They've let every fucking person on their team just go. I mean, I understand, like, having a year where you, like, lose your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator like the Lions did. Like, that's one thing. But to, like, they've literally let their top 2 corners go. They've let their safeties go. They've let their linebackers go. They've let some of their line go. It's unfreaking believable to me that a team can just show up, look at themselves in the mirror, and say, fuck everybody. Like, we won the whole. We want to run it back. Darius Slay was even quoted saying, like, let's run this shit back. I want to come back. I want to do this. And clearly, they either didn't want him or he told them to kick rocks. It's unbelievable what they've been doing. It's cool that they dumped some money into Saquon. That's a very, very healthy investment. And especially, even at 2 years for $41 million, is still fucking chump change, in my opinion, especially for how much he impacted their team. And they also agreed with A.J. Dillon for a backup, which A.J. Dillon's a great, solid backup to Saquon, to be honest. I forget who backed him up last year, but it wasn't anywhere on the stature that A.J. Dillon will be, in my opinion. But yeah, and they traded C.J. Gardner-Johnson for an offensive guard. Like, they needed any more help, dude. Jalen had a MVP fucking year. Like, shit, dude. Nick Sirianni, man, you were starting to come back in my book a little bit. Not really anymore, good sir. But yeah, what are your overall thoughts with the Eagles organization as a current whole, currently, right now?
Watching them just blow their whole defense away and just let everybody walk and even trade some of them, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Darius Slay was only a $6 million cap hit for him to keep him another year. Like, why let a shutdown corner walk like that?
I think they might
doesn't
be
make
a little,
any sense to me.
I think they might be a little stupid in the head. It's the only thing I can come up with, man. Like, I
think they're still drunk from their win.
You might not be far off on that, dude. Really, you might not be far off. It might still be a little shit bombed.
Well, I know they call it Super Bowl hangover. They're Super Bowl drunk.
Yeah. Okay. Nick, I want you to take the lead on the Washington Commanders because they have absolutely been just making moves. Hey, you there?
Now I can hear you.
All right, you're really still super delayed. I'll edit this part out. I just want to get us back on track. Can you hear me good now?
I hear like every third word.
Fuck. What the hell? Someone is getting their dick hole smashed.
All right, I could hear that.
No, but I'm testing like dog shit all of a sudden. So okay, there it goes. It's a little better. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll edit that out. No worries. I'm glad my editing software rocks now. So, fuck, I don't even remember where I was. Anyways, yeah, take the lead on Washington.
So they re-signed Marcus Mariota. He's not a bad backup. I mean, as far as backups go, he seems to do okay.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel, I don't know. You get Deebo for a 5th-round pick. That's the only reason why I like that. I don't think he's going to impact the game as much as people seem to think.
No.
What do you think?
Yeah, like you said, with a 5th-round pick, I like that. For a 5th-round pick, I like it. But for anything else, no, I don't. He's a little bit more drama than you want to bring around, in my opinion. But yeah, I was very. I mean, if I'm Washington, I'm fucking jumping out my goddamn gourd because of that.
Yeah, and they got Laramie Tunsil. To me, that was one of the best things they could have traded for.
Yeah,
they shored that lineup. He's a All-Pro every year.
Yep.
They also signed a kicker and a punter. Re-signed.
Zane Gonzalez.
Woo! We're safe on special teams.
They also re-signed Bobby Wagner. I thought that was a good move, too. Bobby Wagner's always been a G. And Zach Ertz, they got on a 1-year, $6.25 million deal, up to $9 million. Like, damn, dude, Zach Ertz, he's a very underrated tight end, in my opinion.
And he overplayed his contract last year. Nobody thought he'd have that kind of year.
No. And he still ain't getting paid like he should be, in my opinion. So, yeah, dude. Fucking super cool. All right. We're moving on. Steady and strong. We're going to be running over a little bit on this Hulaham Hour, but that's okay because we were running short the last couple weeks. Now we have content, and I love it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We fucking love you, people. All right. I don't even want to fucking touch on the Bears. You want to know what the Bears are doing? Google it. You want to know what no, I will say this. Ben Johnson is doing exactly what he did in Detroit, the fucking slut. But goddamn snake in the grass, I'm bitch slap you. Okay, the only thing he's doing is beefing up his offensive line, which good for him. That worked for him in Detroit. Whether it's going to work again in Chicago, good luck. What are your thoughts on jerk off Ben Johnson, jerk off face?
Well, Caleb Williams got hit more than any quarterback in the league last year, so they had to do something with their line. I think they made some good moves on that front to at least keep him upright a little longer.
I'm glad you have an optimistic standpoint.
As long as we beat them, I don't care who they get.
True. All right. Yeah. Wow. Looks like the Packers have done absolutely nothing so far. Hey, Green Bay, you're up there in the same realm as the Cowboys. You don't spend money in free agency. All right. Vikings have made some moves. Why don't you take the lead on the Vikings, brother man?
So they re-signed Aaron Jones. That's a great re-sign. He had a wonderful year last year.
Yeah, he did.
It's going to be interesting to see with their quarterback situation. I love JJ as a Michigan guy. Not so much that he's on the Vikings. But we'll see how he actually does in his first actual year playing. He could come out and be awful. We've seen a lot of young guys come out and just not be good.
I'm very excited to see JJ McCarthy. I wish he was playing for anybody but the Minnesota Vikings. However, the more and more I watch Kevin McConnell, he is a quarterback whisperer, and he's going to prove himself to be that very soon with JJ. The thing that's hanging up Aaron Rodgers currently, I believe, is the fact that Minnesota is not 100% sure JJ is going to be ready to play this season right away. They don't have anybody now. Daniel Jones is gone. Sam Darnold is gone. So I just don't know. You know, I think that's why the headline today has not broke about Aaron Rodgers, is because he still is being contacted a little bit by Minnesota. Did you hear anything about that, good sir?
I have heard a little bit about it, and my advice for the Vikings is to run away. You need to sign a legitimate backup like a Jacoby Brissett, somebody that can manage you through until he's back.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco.
Run as far and as fast away as you can. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what Aaron Rodgers does. Time will tell. So yeah, they've done a lot of other moves. They signed 3 different corners. Byron Murphy, Isaiah Rodgers, and Terry Thomas. Also signed punter Ryan Wright. God, there's no punters, and all of a sudden there's all sorts of punters. All right.
To me, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave were their biggest signings, though. They just shored up their whole D-line.
Yeah, they did. They did, with the Allen getting a 3-year $51 million and Harvey getting a 2-year $30 million. It's a couple of good contracts, young fellas. All right, let's move on down the NFC South. We're getting to the end here, ladies and gents. We still got some more to cover. Atlanta Falcons still have not let Kirk Cousins do anything, which is freaking nuts to me. But they have signed wide receiver Kadaro Hodge, offensive tackle Jake Matthews, edge rusher Leonard Floyd, linebacker Devon Deblo, and Liam McCullough. Falcons are kind of a mess still. We'll see what they do with Kirky. They kind of told him they want to keep him on as a coach. Good luck. I when he was on announcing one of the playoff games at the end of the year, I kind of was like, you know what, Kirk, you look good in that booth. You look real good in that booth. But we'll see. Panthers re-sign Andy Dalton to a 2-year deal.
Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket. The Red Rocket. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I like watching Andy Dalton play football. I've always just liked Andy Dalton. They've also done a lot of different signings. Got center, edge. They got a lot of people. They've done a lot. I'll give Panthers credit. They're making moves. They're not lying down like they did the last 2 seasons. All right, wrap up the NFC South. Give me the breakdown for the Saints and the Bucs, brother.
All right, Saints, they signed a couple people, but they locked down Chase Young for 3 years. Huge signing. I was really hoping that was somebody we'd pick up. And they stole Justin Reed, who was an absolute center fielder who locked down that Chiefs defense for years. That was a huge pickup.
Yeah, Chase Young. We both had that discussion actually about how I wanted to see him come to us. I really felt that Dan Campbell could have formed him into being exactly what the Lions are looking for in a lineman like that. He'd been a very good complement to Aiden Hutchinson without really having to break the absolute bank. But this contract clearly does break the bank. So, yeah. Just got on the
He
Bucks.
earned it, and then we'll move on down. Move on to the Bucks here. They re-locked up Godwin. That's just a smart move.
Smart move.
He's been a staple for them for years. Same with Levante David. Picking up Hassan Reddick. Now, he was great before he decided to be an asshole and sit out. So let's see if he can actually make the impact on the field like he was when he was playing with Philly. Otherwise, that's a huge pickup.
Yeah, that could be very big for their defense. Very, very big for their defense. I'm curious to see, because even when after Aiden Hutchinson went down last season, I was like, dude, he's still sitting out. Like, we should get him. And then he doesn't come to us, and here we are, finger ourselves. So, yeah, Bucks ain't made much since then. But, all right, moving on. Last conference, NFC West. Cardinals signed Jacoby Brissett to a free agent deal. They're also signing wide receiver Zay Jones. Got a couple of edge rushers in Baron Browning and Josh Sweat. A couple of linebackers in Akeem Davis-Gaither and Aaron Brewer. The Los Angeles Rams made some big moves. Came out in the press that the Rams were looking to shop Matt Stafford. So Matt Stafford goes and has a meeting with the New York Giants. Comes back and then restructures his contract for the next 2 years. And, yeah. However, one of the big reasons that the Rams did not want to have him back, according to the social media grapevine bullshit that we all are a part of, it seems like, is that his wife is just a crazy woman and is way too public about all of her craziness. And the Rams were kind of sick of it. And I don't blame him, because Kelly's nuts. But, hey, I don't know. We'll see. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be his backup with a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with a max value of $13.5 million, depending upon if Matt Stafford stays healthy and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to play. He'll only make that $4.5 million. The other big headline the Rams made is bringing out Mr. Davante Adams. I am actually a huge fan of this acquisition. I really feel like Davante's going to play up to his money. I feel like he now is going in. It doesn't matter who Matt Stafford throws to. He throws to them like he's thrown to them for 10 years. And that's what Davante Adams has always wanted in a quarterback. That's why he's been such an Aaron Rodgers follower, I guess, because he knows Aaron Rodgers knows how to throw to him. But you don't need that with Matt Stafford. What are your thoughts on Davante Adams going out to Los Angeles?
Well, I think once they decide you're going to get rid of Cooper Kupp, you got to get another big guy in there, somebody who can catch the ball, and I think that was a great pickup.
Yeah,
Stafford will find him.
Yeah, speaking of Cooper Kupp, what are your thoughts on him going to Seattle?
I think he'll end up in New England, to be honest with you, personally.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad spot either.
Drake May needs somebody, and they got the money to spend.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one. But yeah, I think Davante Adams and Puka Nacua, I think that's a really good 1-2 punch. I also do think that with Davante Adams probably going to be the number one, I don't see him overtaking Puka Nacua taking the number one spot over Davante Adams. That makes Puka a number 2 receiver, and I'm going to say this now for fantasy. I really don't see Puka Nacua being the high draft stock that he was as of last season. So we'll see. Time will tell.
See, I disagree with that because him and Cooper Kupp are kind of the same type of receiver, and now he's going to get to run everything that him and Cooper were splitting.
Yeah, but Cooper didn't do shit.
Hey, he was hurt for a lot of the year.
Yeah, well, exactly. So we'll see. Like I said, calling it here. All right. Tell us about San Francisco 49ers, brother.
Well, they were about the same as how it is out there. They dumpster fired their team. Absolutely terrible. I don't know what they're doing. They're looking for a rebuild, or I don't know. They've gotten rid of everybody that was worth anything. That's why Joey Bosa didn't want to go there.
And that's crazy because it shows they don't have a lot of faith in Brock Purdy either.
Yeah, they've just dumped all their stars besides McCaffrey, who's usually hurt at least twice a year.
At this point in his career, that is correct. Yep, that is correct.
I don't have much input on them.
Yeah, well, done a couple things. Signed running back Patrick Taylor, wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, a couple other bullshit shits. Coming to the last team. Quarterback Sam Darnold going out to Seattle. They also signed wide receiver Marcus Valdes-Scantling. Oh, I didn't know they did that. That's actually, at least there's another person for him to throw to, I suppose. Yeah, they got DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, and they also signed to a 3-year, $33 million deal linebacker Ernest Jones. So, that brings us to the end of our free agency frenzy tracker. Holy freaking Lord. That was a lot of information, Mr. Nick. Yeah, so going to kind of have to breeze through the next few topics here, but do you have anything else to update us this week on the NFL?
I do not.
Awesome. God love it. Honestly, one of my favorite times of the year is this time of year, especially with it being the off season and just there being so much to talk about. It just seems like every year that goes by, there's more and more of this kind of stuff that just makes the league more fun every year. Right, Mr. Gnome? Sorry I knocked you over earlier. I really fucked you up. All right. So, moving on. No TGL this week, ladies and gents, because everybody's getting ready for the Players' Championship. Arnold Palmer Classic was over the weekend from March 6th to the 9th. And Mr. Henley won it. It was a very good match. But my bigger takeaway was the fact that Mr. Colin Morikawa, dude, I love you. You are one of my favorite golfers. You will get a win one day. You will. I promise. At some point, you will get a victory. It just seems like that man has caught so many short ends of the stick. Would you agree about that?
It's been a while, and he didn't shoot bad on Sunday.
No.
Really, Henley, he won that.
He did. Yeah, Morikawa shot even.
Shots he needed to make.
Yeah, I don't know. And, Shane Lowry being at like 8 under, leading after the second round, I believe it was, absolutely shit the bed. I mean, dude finished 2 under for the entire round, and he shot 6 under. Oh, he shot 6 under total, shot 2 under on the last day. Yeah, his third day, he shit the bed, dude. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Yeah, so everybody this weekend, the reason there's no TGL is everybody is getting ready for the 2025 Players' Championship. Nick, are you as excited about the Players as I am?
Absolutely. I love watching this tournament every year. That course plays so well. It really brings out the best of the competition. First major of the year.
Yeah, TPC Sawgrass. It's going to be fun. I'm very excited about it. Still wish they would allow TGL players to participate, but we'll get there. Hopefully next year the merger's done. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Yeah. But speaking of that, who do you have in the Players' Championship this year?
Man, I'm going to go with Oberg on this one. He's been shooting good. He's been around the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's great. He is great. Super great. Trying to pull up on DraftKings who I bet on because I don't remember. I want to remember because that was my gut instinct when I Oh, shit. Well, doesn't matter. Anyways, very good luck to all the players. Very looking forward to the players. We'll have your updates on who won that next week. So, yeah. That being said, short golf segment this week. NHL. Red Wings are on a little bit of a skid. More than a little bit of a skid. It's kind of sad to see. I think they're going to be the reason that all 4 sports teams don't make the playoffs again this year. I kind of knew it was a little bit of an anomaly that they had won so much when they did. But what are your thoughts on the Wings currently? They're on a 7-game or 6-game skid.
Awful. It seems like we play good for 2 periods and just find a way to run out of gas in the third, and we seem to get our ass kicked in the third.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems
kind of brutal
like right now I thought they're already down 1-0. It might be different. It's been a while since I looked up at the TV. Yeah, man, I don't know. I hope they can pull their head out. Even if they don't make it far in the playoffs, I would just love to see them actually make the playoffs so that we can say that all 4 sports teams from Detroit made the playoffs in the same year. That's where I'm at with it. So, okay. Again, moving on. Pistons are killing it, dude. There's a little bit of separation. When we were talking last week and the week before, there seemed to be a lot more closeness between teams from the 6th to the 10th position. And now there's definitely a gap. Because you have the Pistons at 6th at 37-29, and the Hawks are at 7th and 31-34. So there's at least a 6-game spread there. Very optimistic about the Pistons. Watching their game against the Wizards last night, it was chippy, it was fun, and one of the players got asked like, "Well, how do you guys respond when it gets chippy like that?" He's like, "That's when we play our best." And I'm like, "These guys are G's. I'm so excited to be watching these guys while they're doing this." So yeah, what are your where are you at with the Pistons, brother man?
They look good. I just hope we can maintain that 6. Don't hit a skid at the end of the year. Stay out of the play-in game. Be nice to be a legitimate lock.
Yeah, I would love to avoid. And right now, as it stands, we definitely would be avoiding the play-in game. So that's awesome. Okay, one last segment here. Well, first off, still spring training for the Tigers. So not much to cover on there. Just make sure you're tuning in to watch. Some of the young talent's been very fun to watch. There's been very, very, very more high scoring this year than I feel there's been in spring trainings previously. So make sure you tune in. However, it's March Madness, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting to be conference championship weekend. Very much looking forward to the Big Ten championship. Oh, Red Wings are up 2-1 currently. That's great. All right, we got 5 Big Ten teams in the top 25 to finish the year. Auburn is no longer our number 1. It's Duke. I'm just calling it right now. My call to win the NCAA tournament this year is Michigan State. Call me biased. Call me whatever you want. I'm calling it. Nick, I want us to call right now. Who are you taking in the tournament this year?
I'm gonna go with Duke.
Of course, you take the number 1 overall team. It's not a bad pick, though. They're playing well.
Cooper Flagg shows out.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
He's the only real superstar right now in college.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Good call. Nick calls Duke. I call State. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Again, we ran over this week, which and we blew through the last topics because this is the Hulaham Hour. And if we're ever going to go more than an hour, we're going to let people know about it. So with that being said, Nick, you got anything else on this week of sports?
I do not.
All right, brother. Well, another great week in the books, episode number 15. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how wrong we are. Thank you again for tuning into the podcast that no one listens to. With that being said, we are Hulaham out.